Now this next example will give us practice representing the equation for a line using all three forms that we discussed. And our situation is that we have a line passing through the points -2, 3 and 0, 2. And so what we need to do first to find the equation for any line, of course, is to find its slope. So the slope in this case will be equal to, if we subtract the y coordinates, so I'm going to subtract it in this order, 3 minus 2, all over -2 minus 0. So we end up then with 1 all over -2 then, or the slope then would be -1/2. Now let's first represent the equation in point slope form, which you'll recall is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times the quantity x minus x sub 1, where x sub 1 and y sub 1 refer to a particular point on the line. In this case, I'm going to choose the point -2, 3, although we could have chosen the point 0, 2 just as well. So what we'll have then will be y minus 3 is equal to then the slope of -1/2 times x minus -2. Simplifying a bit further, then we have y minus 3 is equal to -1/2 times the quantity x plus 2. So that would be an equation in point slope form for this line. Now let's next consider putting the equation into slope-intercept form, which you'll recall is y equals mx plus b. Now I've listed the 2 points again that were on the line, the -2, 3 and the 0, 2. We're actually going to do this 2 different ways. If you're a shrewd observer, you will notice that the 0, 2 actually is the y-intercept of the line. And so then the y-coordinate of that point becomes our b value. So what we can do then is simply write immediately that slope-intercept form would be y is equal to then -1/2 x plus 2. Now let's also find this form by using the point slope form of the equation that we looked at just a moment ago, which you recall was y minus 3 is equal to -1/2 times the quantity x plus 2. So all we need to do now is solve this equation for y. So we distribute on the right hand side, we end up with -1/2 x minus 1, and if we add 3 to each member, we end up with y is equal to -1/2 x then plus 2. So you can see that we end up with the same result either way, but certainly if we're given the y-intercept initially, it's an awful lot easier to use that point rather than go through the extra computation we just did using the other point. Now the final form that we'll look at is putting the equation into standard form, which you remember involves having the x and y terms on the same side and all the coefficients a, b, and c being integers and a being positive. So if we go back to the slope-intercept form that we created a moment ago, the y equals -1/2 x plus 2. What we'll do first is simply add 1/2 x to each side. So we have then 1/2 x plus y is equal to positive 2. And to eliminate the fractions, what we'll do is multiply each side by 2 here. So 2 times the quantity 1/2 x plus y. We'll multiply the right side by 2 as well. So we then end up with x plus 2y is equal to positive 4. So you notice all the coefficients are integers and the coefficient of x is positive.